Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Gate Classes by the Tech Faculties. I am Chandrapal Singh Indra and this is our third lecture on heat exchanger topic. So today we will solve few numerical based on the previous class topic and then we will discuss about the performance analysis of the heat exchanger in terms of the effectiveness of the heat exchanger. So let's quickly revise that what we have done in the previous class. In the previous class, we have derived the formula to find the value of mean temperature difference between hot and the cold fluid across the heat exchanger, and that is theta mean is equal to the theta inlet minus theta outlet divided by ln theta inlet by theta outlet. So this mean temperature formula is for both parallel flow and the counter flow, and here we can see that there is a log in this term. So this temperature difference or a mean temperature difference between the hot and the cold fluid is known as logarithmic mean temperature difference or LMTD. So through this term we also can say that the temperature distribution in the heat exchanger for the fluids will be a logarithmic temperature profile. So let's have the parallel flow heat exchanger. So parallel flow heat exchanger in which the hot fluids undergoes temperature change from T hot inlet to T hot outlet, and cold fluid from T cold inlet to T cold outlet. So I am considering the fluid is flowing in this direction. So this will be considered as inlet and this will be outlet. So the theta inlet is the temperature difference between the hot and the cold fluid. So here the theta inlet will be T hot inlet minus T cold inlet, or at the outlet the theta outlet will be temperature difference between T hot outlet minus T cold outlet, and that will be equal to the TH outlet T hot outlet minus T cold outlet. So by putting this value in the formula of LMTD, we can find the value of theta mean. So theta mean can be found for the parallel flow heat exchanger by putting these values. So here we also discussed that in any condition the value of theta inlet will always be greater than the theta outlet in case of the parallel flow heat exchanger. So let's consider one another type of heat exchanger based on the fluid flow, and that is a counter flow heat exchanger. In a counter flow heat exchanger, fluid enters from the opposite direction. So here the T hot inlet and T hot outlet, T cold inlet, T cold outlet. So the fluid flows in this x direction. So theta inlet, so it will be inlet and it will be outlet. So theta inlet will be equal to the T hot inlet minus T cold outlet, and at outlet temperature difference between the hot and the cold fluid will be T hot outlet minus T cold inlet. So this is how we can find the value of mean temperature difference for the counter flow. So we also discussed one special case for the counter flow heat exchanger in which the product of mass flow rate of the hot fluid and the specific heat of the hot fluid that is known as heat storage capacity of the hot fluid. So the heat storage, if the heat storage capacity of the hot fluid is equal to the heat storage capacity of the cold fluid, in that case the value of theta mean will be equal to the theta inlet will be equal to the theta outlet. So here the temperature distribution is a linear profile, and both the line for the hot and the cold fluid is parallel to the each other. So we also discussed one another term for the theta mean, that is the theta mean is a mean of theta inlet and the theta outlet. So that is equal to the theta inlet plus theta outlet divided by 2, and this term is known as AMTD. Earth means arithmetic mean temperature difference. So this term can be used only when the heat exchanger is a shorter heat exchanger is of a shorter length. So there is a various temperature variation is very small, then we can use this as when the temperature distribution or temperature variation is very small, then it is considered as a linear temperature profile. In that case we can use AMTD formula. And we also know that the heat loss by the hot fluid is equal to the heat gain by the cold fluid, and that is equal to the heat transfer through the heat exchanger by the first law of the thermodynamics. So the heat losses by the cold hot fluid is equal to the mass flow rate of the hot fluid into Cph, and temperature difference of the hot fluid, that is T hot inlet minus T hot outlet, is equal to the mass flow rate of the cold fluid specific heat of the cold fluid into temperature difference between the cold fluids. So that is what we have studied in the previous class. So based on this, we will solve a few numerical, then we will start our today's topic. Let's solve the numericals. So the question was in GATE 2002, and the question was saying that for the same inlet and the outlet temperature of the hot and the cold fluid, the LMTD is. So the option A is saying that the greater for the parallel flow heat exchanger than for the counter flow heat exchanger. Greater for the counter flow heat exchanger than the parallel flow heat exchanger. Option C is saying that the same for both parallel flow and counter flow heat exchanger. And option D depends upon the properties of the fluid. So in the formula of LMTD, we have the theta inlet minus theta outlet divided by ln theta inlet by the theta outlet. So by this term we can say that it's only depend upon the temperature difference between the hot and the cold fluid at the inlet and the outlet of the heat exchanger. So the option number D is incorrect for the given question, and option C is saying that the LMTD is same for both parallel flow and the counter flow heat exchanger. So this is also case when the phase change heat exchanger is used. So in phase change heat exchanger, in that case, that type of heat exchanger is independent of the flow pattern. So the value of LMTD either for the parallel flow or the counter flow will be same. So option number C is only for the phase change heat exchanger. So option number C is also incorrect. Now we have only two options. So let's understand. To understand this, I am drawing the diagram for parallel flow and the counter flow heat exchanger. So here by the diagram, it is noticeable that the temperature variation in the parallel flow heat exchanger between the hot fluid and the cold fluid is continuously decreasing in the direction of the flow. So the variation in the temperature is quite noticeable as compared to the parallel flow heat exchanger. Hence, the entropy of the universe is increases in case of the parallel flow heat exchanger. Therefore, the value of LMTD for the parallel flow heat exchanger is lesser than the counterflow heat exchanger, as there is a more entropy generation and it is quite irreversible if we compare this with the counterflow heat exchanger. So here the LMTD of counterflow heat exchanger is greater than the LMTD of parallel flow, as entropy generation is more in the case of the parallel flow heat exchanger. So we also conclude that the for the same given surface area, the heat transfer from the counterflow heat exchanger is more than the parallel flow heat exchanger, as the value of LMTD is more for the counterflow. So for this question, the option B is correct. It is saying that the greater for the counterflow heat exchanger than the parallel flow heat exchanger. So let's have another question. Question number 2, that was in GATE 2005. So the question number 2 is saying that the hot oil is cooled from 80 to 50 degrees centigrade in the oil cooler, which uses air as a coolant. The air temperature rises from 30 degree to 40 degree centigrade, and the designer uses LMTD value of 26 degree, and the type of heat exchanger is. So in this question, we are required to identify that which type of heat exchanger is this. So therefore, I am considering that it is a parallel flow heat exchanger. Let's determine whether it is parallel flow, counter flow, cross flow, double pipe. So double pipe is a type of heat exchanger based on the design criteria. So in a double pipe heat exchanger, there may be a counter flow and parallel flow. So the option number C is incorrect. So we have only three options, that parallel flow, counter flow or the cross flow. So first start with the option number A. Is it correct or not? The hot fluid temperature decreases from 80 to 50 degrees centigrade, and there is a rise in the air temperature from 30 to 40 degree centigrade. So this is inlet and this is the outlet section. So at the inlet, the temperature difference is 50 degree centigrade, and at the outlet section there is a temperature difference of 10 degree centigrade. Then the value of theta mean is equal to the theta inlet minus theta outlet divided by ln theta inlet by theta outlet, and we will have that 40 divided by ln 5. So let's calculate the value, that it will be equal to 40 divided by ln 5, and the value will be equal to the 24.85 degree centigrade. As the designer is using, the LMTD is equal to the 26 degree centigrade, and it is lesser than the means parallel and parallel flow heat exchanger. We obtain the value is equal to the 24, which is lesser than the designed LMTD. So the option number A is incorrect. Now I am considering that it is counterflow heat exchanger. So in the counterflow heat exchanger, fluid enters from the opposite direction. So this is the direction of the flow, that is inlet, and it will be outlet. So at the inlet temperature difference is 40, and at the outlet the temperature difference is 20. So here we have the theta mean is equal to the theta inlet minus theta outlet divided by ln theta inlet by theta outlet, and it will be equal to the 20 divided by ln 2. So the value will be equal to theta mean, the value will be 28.85 degree centigrade. So here the designed value is 26 degree centigrade. So the value of the LMTD for the counterflow heat exchanger is more than the given value. So the option number B is also incorrect. So option number D is correct, that it is a cross flow heat exchanger, as the LMTD of counterflow cross flow heat exchanger is equal to the correction factor F into LMTD of counter flow heat exchanger, and the value of F is lesser than 1. So here the value of LMTD for the cross flow is 26 degrees centigrade. So here we can conclude that LMTD for counterflow is greater than the LMTD of cross flow is greater than the LMTD of parallel flow. So let's have another question. The question number 3, that was in gate 2000. The air enters a counterflow heat exchanger at 70 degrees centigrade and leaves at 40 degrees centigrade. Waters, water enters at 30 degrees centigrade and leaves at 50 degrees centigrade. The LMTD is, so it is a very simple question. It is given that it is a counterflow heat exchanger. So here we can see that the in this question the outlet temperature of the cold fluid or cold stream of the fluid is greater than the outlet temperature of the hot fluid. So this condition is only achieved when we uses the counterflow heat exchanger. So here we can say the counterflow heat exchanger is best performing heat exchanger as compared to the parallel flow heat exchanger. Now here we will have the theta mean will be equal to the, this is the inlet direction of the flow, this is at the inlet and this is at the outlet. So the inlet the temperature difference is 20 degree, and at the outlet the temperature difference is 10 degree. So we will have 20 minus 10 divided by ln 20 by 10, 10 divided by ln 2. So we will have 14.42. 14.42 degrees centigrade. So for this question, option number B is correct. Now the question number 4. So in a counterflow heat exchanger for the hot fluid, the heat capacity is 2 kilojoule per kg Kelvin and mass flow rate is 5 kg per second. The inlet temperature is 150 degree centigrade and outlet temperature is 100 degree centigrade. For the cold fluid, the heat capacity is 4 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, mass flow rate is 10 kg per second, and the inlet temperature of the cold fluid is 20 degree centigrade. Neglecting the heat transfer to the surrounding, and it is what is required to find the outlet temperature of the cold fluid in degree centigrade. So this question was in GATE 2003, and it is very simple question in which we are required to put the value of heat transfer through the hot fluid is equal to the heat transfer through the cold fluid. Means heat losses by the hot fluid will be equal to the heat gain by the cold fluid, and this is by the first law of thermodynamics, and we will have that mass flow rate multiplied by specific heat into temperature difference, and that is 50 degrees centigrade. So it is required to put all the value in the SI unit, but here that is a temperature difference, so it is not required to convert these terms into Kelvin. So mass flow rate of the cold fluid is 10, and heat storage capacity is 4, and T cold outlet minus 20 degree centigrade. So the T cold outlet is equal to the 12.5 plus 20, and it will be equal to the 32.5 degree centigrade. So option number B is correct for the given question. Let's have another question. Question number 5. So, question number 5 was in GATE 2011, and it is saying that in the condenser of the power plant, the steam condenses at the temperature of the 60 degrees centigrade. The cooling water enters at 30 degrees centigrade and leaves at 45 degrees centigrade. The LMTD of the condenser is. So it is a special type of heat exchanger where the phase change is there. So in the phase change heat exchanger, in this question, it is not given that it is a counter flow heat exchanger or the parallel flow heat exchanger, as the LM value of LMTD for the both cases is going to be equal. So that's why it is not mentioned in this question. So let's have the parallel flow heat exchanger, that the temperature of the hot fluid, which is at the 60 degrees centigrade, is the temperature is not changing as there is a latent heat of condensation. Cold fluid enters at 30 degree and leaves at 45 degrees centigrade. So this is the direction of the flow, and it is inlet and it is outlet. So at the inlet, temperature difference is 30 degrees centigrade, and at the outlet, the temperature difference is 15 degree centigrade. Similarly, if we have the parallel flow heat exchanger, counter flow heat exchanger, then the fluid will enter from the opposite direction, 32, 45 degree centigrade. So the temperature difference at inlet is 15 degree centigrade and at outlet is 30 degree centigrade. So the value of LMTT for the both cases is going to be same. So let's put the value in the formula, that theta inlet minus theta outlet divided by ln theta inlet by theta outlet, and it will be equal to the 15 divided by ln 2. So let's calculate. Then the value of theta mean is going to be equal to 21.6 degree centigrade. So option number B is correct for the condenser type of heat exchanger. So let's start with the today's topic, that is the performance analysis of the heat exchanger. So the performance of the heat exchanger is measured in terms of the effectiveness of the heat exchanger. So the effectiveness of the heat exchanger is defined as the, it is a ratio of actual heat transfer across the heat exchanger to the maximum theoretical maximum heat transfer in the heat exchanger. So the Q actual can be measured. Heat Q actual is measured by T hot inlet minus T hot outlet is equal to the, and the Qmax is obtained when the fluid undergoes the maximum temperature difference, and we know that the maximum temperature difference across the heat exchanger is T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. So this is the maximum temperature available in the heat exchanger, and we know that if a fluid having a minimum heat storage capacity, in that case the fluid will undergoes the maximum temperature difference. So this Qmax can be achieved when the specific heat storage capacity of the fluid is minimum and the temperature difference is maximum. So the Qmax is this. Let's understand how we use this formula. For, let's consider the counterflow heat exchanger. In the case first, we are having that heat storage capacity of the hot fluid is greater than the heat storage capacity of the cold fluid. In that case, as we can see that the heat storage capacity of the hot fluid is more, so the hot fluid will undergo the minimum temperature difference. So it is T hot inlet, T hot outlet. Now the cold fluid is entered at a temperature T Ci, and here as the cold fluid is having the minimum heat storage capacity, so the cold fluid will undergo the maximum temperature PV7. So ideally the maximum temperature that cold fluid can achieve is equal to the T hot inlet. So here the value of T cold outlet is equal to the T hot inlet. So we can find the value of Q for the cold fluid, that will be equal to the Cc into, so the cold fluid undergoes the temperature difference from T C inlet T C outlet minus Tc inlet. Here we have that the temperature of the cold fluid outlet is equal to the T hot inlet. So we have that Q max is equal to the Cc multiplied by T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. In another case, if the value of heat storage capacity of the cold fluid is greater than heat storage capacity of the hot fluid, then the cold fluid will undergo the minimum temperature difference, and that Tc inlet, Tc outlet, and the hot fluid will undergoes the maximum temperature variation. So here the maximum temperature that hot fluid can achieve is equal to the T cold inlet. So here we can say the outlet temperature of the hot water is equal to the inlet temperature of the cold fluid. Sorry, the outlet temperature of the hot fluid will be equal to the inlet temperature of the cold fluid. Now here we can find the Q for the hot water, that will be equal to the Ch multiplied by T hot inlet minus T hot outlet, and that will be equal to the Ch T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. So this is how we represent the maximum heat transfer in the heat exchanger. Let's find the effectiveness by using this formula, that the effectiveness is equal to the Q actual by Q max. So first case, case number first, if in which the specific heat of the hot fluid is greater than the specific heat, heat storage capacity of the hot fluid is greater than the heat storage capacity of the cold fluid. So we will have the C minimum is Cc, and the Q max will be Cc multiplied by T hot inlet minus T cold inlet, and the effectiveness will be equal to the, and here as we can cancel out the value of heat storage capacity of the cold fluid here. So I will consider the actual heat transfer for the cold fluid, and the cold fluid actual heat transfer for the cold fluid is equal to the Cc multiplied by T cold outlet minus T cold inlet, and we will have the effectiveness of the heat exchanger is equal to the Tc outlet minus Tc inlet divided by T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. So in this term, that outlet temperature of the cold fluid is required to be known. Then we can find the value of effectiveness for the heat exchanger. So in another case in which the heat storage capacity of the cold fluid is greater than the heat storage capacity of the hot fluid, then the value of C minimum is equal to the Ch, and the Qmax will be, the Qmax will be equal to the Ch T hot inlet minus T cold inlet, and the actual heat transfer, for the actual heat transfer I am considering the heat transfer within the hot fluid, and that will be equal to the Ch multiplied by T hot inlet minus T hot outlet. So here this time is going to be cancelled out, and we will have effectiveness that will be equal to the T hot inlet minus T hot outlet divided by T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. So in both these terms, equation number 1 and in equation number 2, it is required to be known the value of outlet temperature of either the cold fluid or the hot fluid if we need to find the effectiveness of the heat exchanger. So there is one another method to find the effectiveness of the heat exchanger when we know only the inlet temperature of the hot and the cold fluid. So this technique is known as number of transfer unit method or NTU method for effectiveness of the heat exchanger. So let's find that effectiveness by NTU method. So NTU represent the number of transfer unit and it is represent that the size of the heat exchanger. Higher the value of this, the bigger the size of the heat exchanger. So the value of NTU is number of transfer unit is equal to the UA divided by C minimum. It is a fluid which is having minimum heat storage capacity. Now, one more term is here, capacity heat capacity ratio that is equal to the and represented by C that is equal to the C minimum by C max. It is a ratio of heat storage capacity, minimum heat storage capacity to the maximum heat storage capacity. So this bottom is will be in the formula. So let's find the formula for the effectiveness, or let's derive the formula for the effectiveness for the parallel flow heat exchanger. So NTU method for parallel flow heat exchanger. So let's draw the diagram for parallel flow heat exchanger. And consider a small elementary area in the heat exchanger and the mean temperature difference is Th and here the mean temperature difference is Tc. So the elementary heat transfer through this small elementary area dA will be equal to the delta Q is equal to the UdA Th minus Tc. This is equation number first, and the heat transfer across the uh, hot fluid will be equal to the delta Q is equal to the at this elementary area delta Q is equal to the Ch multiplied by delta Th, and this delta Th negative as it is a exact differentiation which represents the T2 minus T1. Here from first point to the second point, the value of the temperature difference will be negative, means T2 minus T1 will be negative. So this is minus Ch delta Th, and heat transfer in the cold fluid will be equal to the Cc multiplied by delta Tc, and here the delta Tc will be positive. So this is equation number 2 and 3. By solving equation number 2 and 3, the delta Tc minus delta T delta Th minus delta Tc will be equal to the minus delta Q 1 by Ch plus 1 by, we will have this equation number 4. So we can put the value of equation number 1 in the equation number 4, and we will have that dth minus dtc, that will be equal to the minus u multiplied by dA th minus tc 1 by ch plus 1 by cc, and we will have that delta th minus delta tc divided by th minus tc, that will be equal to minus ua 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. This is equation number 5. So the equation number 5 we will write here that delta t h minus delta tc divided by th minus tc, that is equal to the minus u into dA 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. So this is at the small elementary area. So if we integrate this for the entire heat exchanger from inlet to the outlet, so inlet to the outlet, we will have that ln th minus tc at outlet divided by th minus tc at inlet, that will be equal to the minus u, and the integration of the dA from inlet to the outlet will represent the overall surface area, and that will be equal to the 1 by ch plus 1 by cc. So here we can say that T hot outlet minus, from the parallel flow heat exchanger at the outlet, the temperature difference is T hot outlet minus T cold outlet. So T hot outlet minus T cold outlet divided by T hot inlet minus T cold inlet, that will be equal to the exponential minus UA 1 by CH plus 1 by CC. Here it is required to find the value of outlet temperature, as the NTU method is used when we know only the inlet temperature of the hot and the cold fluid. So the outlet temperature of the hot and the cold fluid can be measured by the formula that effectiveness is equal to the CH T hot inlet minus T hot outlet divided by C minimum by T hot inlet minus T cold inlet, and that is for the hot fluid, and for the cold fluid it will be equal to the Cc T cold outlet minus T cold inlet divided by C minimum T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. So from this equation we can find the value of T hot outlet, and from this we can find the value of T cold outlet. So the value of T hot outlet is, this is equation number 6. So the value of T hot outlet is, T hot outlet is T hot inlet minus effectiveness C minimum by CH T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. That is equation number 7. And from this we are going to find the value of T cold outlet, and the value of T cold outlet will be T cold inlet plus effectiveness C minimum by Cc T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. That is equation number 8. T cold outlet will be equal to the effectiveness C minimum Th minus Tci divided by Cc. So by putting the value of equation number 7 and equation number 8 in equation number 6, then we will have T hot inlet minus effectiveness C minimum by Ch T hot inlet minus T cold inlet minus T cold inlet minus effectiveness C minimum by Cc T hot inlet minus T cold inlet divided by T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. That will be equal to the e to the power minus UA 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. So we can take a common, that is T hot inlet minus T cold inlet. That will now the terms will we will have will be equal to the 1 minus effectiveness multiplied by C minimum and 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc, and that will be equal to the e to the power minus UA 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. From here we will have effectiveness of the heat exchanger, that is equal to the 1 minus e to the power minus UA 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc divided by C minimum by 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. So this is the formula for the effectiveness. And if in case first if in case first we have that the minimum heat storage capacity is related to the hot fluid, in that case we have to take the common that Ch, and the term will be equal to the effectiveness, that so let's write this equation on the another page. The effectiveness of the heat exchanger is equal to the 1 minus e to the power minus UA 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc divided by C minimum 1 by Ch plus 1 by Cc. So here we have two cases. In first case, if Ch is greater than Cc, means the minimum heat storage capacity is related to the cold fluid. In that case, the effectiveness of the parallel flow heat exchanger is EP will be equal to the 1 minus e to the power minus UA, where C minimum is Cc. That will be equal to the Cc by Ch plus 1 N divided by C minimum by CH plus C minimum by CC. So here we will have that 1 minus e to the power minus this term is equal to the NTU, which is a ratio of UA divided by C minimum. E to the power minus NTU 1 plus C. C is a capacity ratio, and that will be equal to the 1 plus C for the parallel flow effectiveness of the parallel flow heat exchanger when we have CC is minimum. So the another case in which CC is greater than the CH. So here we will have C minimum is equal to the C minimum will be equal to the CH. In that case, the effectiveness of the parallel flow heat exchanger will be equal to the 1 minus e to the power minus UA divided by CH. Then we will have 1 plus CH by CC divided by C minimum by CH plus C minimum by CC, and we will have 1 minus, and this term represent the NTU, 1 minus NTU 1 plus C divided by 1 plus C. So the effectiveness of the heat exchanger for parallel flow heat exchanger is equal to the 1 minus e to the power minus NTU 1 plus C divided by 1 plus C. So today I would like to conclude my lecture at that point, and in the next class we will solve few numerical based on the NTU method and based on the effectiveness of the heat exchanger, and we will also derive the formula for the effectiveness of the heat exchanger for the counter flow heat exchanger. So till then, bye.